Welcome back. If you've been keeping an eye on spaceflight, well, you've definitely seen the pretty spectacular back-to-back flights of that huge Starship system.
Yeah, they've been impressive launches.
Definitely. But today, we're going to look past just the visual thrill. We want to really dig into what these recent successes, those planned ocean splashdowns, what they actually mean, what did they unlock?
Right, because the next step is, frankly, a lot harder than just surviving reentry.
So we've seen the system, the Super Heavy booster, the Starship upper stage, both burning methalox, and they've proved kind of the physical control.
That's it. But those flashdowns, you could say they were like dress rehearsals.
Okay, so our mission today then. Let's understand why those flights were so vital for gathering data, and crucially, why getting this on-orbit cryogenic propellant transfer working is the absolute key. The main unlock, maybe.
Exactly. It's what's needed for the system to actually do its main job, sending really big payloads, and eventually people, deep into space.
And specifically for NASA's human landing system for Artemis, right?
Yeah, that's the big one. Yeah.
Before we dive in, a quick request. If you enjoy exploring books and ideas like this, hit the like button and share this video with your friends who love reading.
Look, if you want to get to the moon, or Mars even, you basically have to build a reliable gas station in low Earth orbit first. It's unavoidable.
And getting that gas station to work, that sounds like the real challenge here. More complex than just launching the rocket itself.
Oh, much more complex. As we'll get into, it's a whole different ballgame compared to the physics on the launch pad.
Okay, let's start with where we are now. The state of play. These hour-long missions, back-to-back, that shows real progress, right? Maturity in the program.
Absolutely. Flight 10, back in August 2025, that one dropped off some payload simulators, basically mock satellites.
Right, before it did its controlled splashdown in the Indian Ocean.
And then Flight 11, just in October, pretty much repeated the performance. Booster soft landed in the Gulf of Mexico, water landing, and the ship, again, controlled splashdown, Indian Ocean.
An hour-long mission for that one, too.
Yeah, the ability to just execute those full flight profiles, get up to orbital speeds, run the whole sequence twice in a row, it shows they're really nailing the launch and the basic flight parts.
But hang on, if the big goal is full reusability, why keep ditching them in the ocean? I mean, they're not recovering these vehicles yet, so what's the point? What data are they getting?
It's all about minimizing risk while pushing the envelope. Think of the ocean as a safe test zone.
Right, so you don't risk blowing up the launch pad or the expensive catch tower if something goes wrong during landing.
Exactly. They're testing the really critical stuff you can't fully verify from the ground. Things like the heat shield integrity, the thermal protection system, how does it handle heating, peak dynamic pressure.
So basically, can it survive the fiery reentries?
Survive the fire, yes.
Yeah.
And also prove the guidance and control, especially those four big flaps. How much authority do they have during that wild belly flop maneuver coming down?
That looks terrifying.
It's complex. And crucially, they rehearse the final flip maneuver, the engine relights just before touchdown. They're validating those landing burn profiles.
Ah, okay. So even though they landed in water, they practiced the exact engine sequence they'll need for a pad landing later.
Precisely. They prove the vehicle can handle the whole round trip, stress-wise, deploy a payload analog, perform all the needed controlled maneuvers. It's repeatable now.
That makes sense. Proving control under stress.
Yep. And that builds the foundation. If you can't reliably control the vehicle through reentry, forget about doing tricky stuff in orbit like rendezvous and docking.
Which you absolutely need for the refueling.
Exactly. So that control piece, consider it proven, at least for this phase.
Okay, so they've proved the ship can survive, it can fly itself. Why can't they just aim the Starship lander variant at the moon now? What's stopping them? What's this hidden constraint you mentioned?
It really boils down to mass, just sheer physics. The problem is you need to launch from Earth, get to orbit, and then do huge velocity changes for deep space.
Like the burn to get to the moon, the translunar injection, and then braking to land and launching back.
All of that takes enormous amounts of propellant. Even a monster rocket like Starship just cannot physically carry enough fuel for all of that in one single launch from Earth. The numbers don't add up.
The tyranny of the rocket equation, right?
Absolutely. The weight penalty is just astronomical. So launching straight to the moon and back on one tank, dead on arrival for a vehicle this size doing that kind of mission.
Which brings us back to NASA's plan for the Human Landing System, HLS. It relies on this orbital gas station concept.
Totally. The whole Artemis architecture for the Starship lander is built around it. It's basically a 3-step fuel delivery chain.
Okay, walk us through it.
Step 1, launch a dedicated Starship variant, the depot, or maybe call it the receiver ship, into low Earth orbit. Just sits there waiting.
Okay.
Step 2, launch multiple tanker Starships. Could be 5, could be 8, maybe more. We don't know the final number. These tankers go up, rendezvous with the depot, and fill it up.
Fill it with that super cold methane and oxygen.
Right. And only then, step 3, the actual HLS lander, the one going to the moon, launches. It docks with the now full depot, tops up its tanks.
Fills her up.
Pretty much. And then it fires its engines to head off towards the moon, probably via that near rectilinear halo orbit, NRHO.
So it's like turning Starship into a fleet of space semi-trucks instead of one giant truck carrying everything.
You launch the fuel in smaller, manageable, reusable loads. Many trips to deliver the fuel for one big trip for the lander.
It's a fundamental shift in space logistics, isn't it?
Sure.
Moving away from single-use, throwaway rockets for big missions.
It really is, from, single-shot expeditions to a continuous coordinated supply chain in orbit. But this is the key point.
Yeah.
That whole elegant logistics model hinges entirely on mastering the tech in the middle, the actual transfer of propellant in orbit, the orbital plumbing.
Okay, the strategy sounds logical, necessary even. But let's zoom right into that moment. Transferring cryogenics. We're talking liquid methane, liquid oxygen, stuff that's incredibly cold, right near its boiling point.
Extremely cold, yeah. Close to absolute zero for oxygen.
So what happens when two spacecraft dock up there and try to pass this stuff between them?
Yeah.
It surely can't be as simple as just like plugging in a gas pump hose.
Oh, it's way, way harder than that.
Right.
I mean, the basic sounds simple. Dock the vehicles, connect some heavily insulated transfer lines, and then use pressure differences, push gas into the tanker's tank to push the liquid out into the depot's tank.
Okay.
But the real nightmare is the thermal side. Before you can even start flowing propellant, you have to aggressively cool down those transfer lines. It's called chill down.
Why?
Because if the first drop of that cryogenic liquid hits a relatively warm pipe wall, it instantly flash boils violently. You get huge pressure spikes, gas pockets. It's a mess.
Yeah.
You waste propellant and might not even be able to transfer properly.
Right. Okay. So chill down is step 1. But even if you manage the transfer, now you've got this massive tank of super cold fuel sitting in a LEO, maybe for weeks, maybe months, waiting for the lander. That sounds difficult.
That's where the real thermal battle begins.
Okay.
It's called boil off.
Boil off. Okay.
It's the constant slow evaporation of your propellant because tiny amounts of heat inevitably leak into the tank from the sun, from the Earth's reflected heat, even from the spacecraft's own systems.
And over weeks or months, that adds up.
Oh, yeah. We could be talking about losing tons and tons of valuable methane and oxygen, just gone. So the big goal is achieving reduced boil-off, or ideally zero boil-off RBO or ZBO.
How do you even do that?
With some serious thermal engineering. Heavy-duty, multi-layer insulation blankets, deployable sunshades to block direct sunlight, radiators to dump heat, sometimes even active cryo-coolers like refrigerators, basically.
Wow. And the sources mentioned something interesting here, that LEO is actually a worse place to store cryos long-term than deep space. That seems counterintuitive.
It does, but it's true. In LEO, you're constantly cycling between direct, intense sunlight and the cold shadow of Earth. Plus, you get heat radiating up from the earthy albedo. It's a very dynamic, harsh thermal environment. Deep space is generally just consistently cold.
So achieving ZBO in LEO is a major global research effort, not just for Starship.
Absolutely. It's critical for any long-duration space mission architecture involving stored propellants. Now, take all those thermal challenges and layer on the fact that you're in microgravity. Weightlessness completely changes how fluids behave.
The microgravity nightmare you alluded to earlier.
Pretty much. On Earth, gravity helpfully pulls the liquid down to the bottom of the tank, leaving the gas, the ullage, at the top.
Yeah.
Easy to pump liquid out from the bottom.
Makes sense.
In space, the liquid can just float. It might cling to the tank walls due to surface tension. You get bubbles everywhere.
Yeah.
Sloshing is unpredictable. And managing that ullage, the gas pocket, becomes critical.
Why is the ullage so important?
You need to ensure your pump inlet is always submerged in liquid, not gas. So often you have to perform what are called ullage settling maneuvers.
What's that?
Firing tiny thrusters to give the whole spacecraft a very slight, continuous acceleration. That gentle push forces the liquid to settle down towards the back of the tank where the outlet pipe is.
So you're constantly nudging the spacecraft just to keep the fuel in the right place.
Essentially, yes, during transfer operations. And you have to be careful. Any sudden jolt, like during docking or even just a valve opening, could cause the ullage bubble to collapse or get mixed into the liquid.
Which would be bad if you sucked gas into the transfer line or worse, into an engine later.
Exactly. You could get inconsistent flow or engine damage. It's incredibly fiddly physics. That's why NASA is flying experiments right now, like on the NG-23 supply mission to the ISS, specifically to study cryogenic fluid behavior in microgravity.
Trying to get better computer models to predict all this weirdness.
Precisely. It's not just about building the hardware, the pipes and tanks. It's about fundamentally understanding and mastering fluid dynamics in a way that just doesn't apply down here on Earth.
Okay, so they tackled the atmospheric flight control with the splashdowns. What are the next concrete steps we as observers should be looking for? What signals progress on this much harder cryogenic challenge?
Well, the logical progression seems pretty clear. First up, we need to see them demonstrate rendezvous and docking in orbit. Even just dry tests, getting two starships close, maybe physically connecting them, but without actually trying to transfer fuel yet.
Just proving the navigation, the docking hardware, that kind of thing.
Exactly. That validates the mechanics of getting the ships together. Then, the big one. The first dedicated ship-to-ship cryogenic transfer demonstration.
Okay. And that would need new hardware.
Oh yeah, upgraded vehicles with all the specialized plumbing, the insulation, the thermal control systems we just talked about. That'll be a major milestone when we see it.
And beyond just the transfer itself, proving they can store it, right? The ZBO tech.
Absolutely critical. Look for specific tests of depot technologies. Maybe a dedicated mission just to validate how well the sun shields work or how effective the cryocoolers are over weeks or months. If they can't store the fuel reliably without massive boil-off.
Then the whole Artemis HLS plan with multiple tanker flights just falls apart.
It simply doesn't work. The timelines rely on being able to store that propellant efficiently.
Now, assuming they do master this refueling, what does that unlock strategically? What are the big impacts?
If they get orbital refueling working reliably, it's transformative. Suddenly you can deliver truly massive cargo payloads to places like the lunar South Pole. We're talking infrastructure components, habitats, large rovers, stuff that single launch landers just can't handle because of the mass limit.
It opens up a whole new scale of operations on the moon.
Completely. And think about the economics. If you have a fully reusable launcher and reusable tankers topping up missions in orbit, the cost per kilogram delivered to the moon or anywhere in cislunar space could drop dramatically.
Which has knock-on effects for commercial space stations, maybe orbital manufacturing.
Asteroid mining, future Mars missions, all sorts of things become much more feasible economically. The technology developed for Starship refueling could also benefit other commercial space tugs or advanced upper stages. It's enabling tech.
But let's do a quick reality check here. The sources emphasize this, right? The splashdowns were great. They expanded the flight envelope.
Yes, important steps forward, definitely not a regression.
And this is the crucial bit, no public ship-to-ship transfer of methane and LOX, the actual propellants, has happened yet.
Correct. That dedicated demonstration campaign is still ahead of us. We can't say the really hard physics and engineering challenges solved until we see that happen successfully and repeatedly.
So what are the specific things we, the public, should watch for? Concrete signs that they're really making progress on the refueling front.
Keep an eye on the hardware at the launch site. Are we seeing visuals or maybe permit filings that show new kinds of plumbing, different umbilical connections on vehicles that are specifically being called depot or tanker prototypes?
Okay, physical hardware changes.
Also, listen closely to official updates from NASA regarding the HLS program. Are they explicitly mentioning successful milestones related to zero boil-off tech demos? Or successful ground tests of the transfer systems? Or eventually that first orbital transfer test?
And those microgravity fluid experiments we mentioned.
Yeah, the results from those experiments flown on ISS or other platforms will be key. They'll tell us if the computer models being used to design the Starship refueling systems are actually accurate. That's a more subtle but very important indicator.
Okay, this has been quite the journey. We started with the more visible challenge, proving the vehicle can fly, control itself, survive reentry, which they showed with the splashdowns.
Mastering the atmospheric part of the flight.
And then we dove deep into this incredibly complex world of orbital fluid management, the cryogenics, the chill down, fighting boil off, dealing with weird microgravity physics.
Yeah, that's really the program's story right now. Prove the vehicle works, then prove the critical infrastructure, the refueling system works. The cryogenic transfer and storage, that's the big technological bottleneck they're wrestling with currently.
So wrapping this up, what's the key takeaway for you, the listener, as you watch these developments and try to gauge future mission timelines?
Well, if you connect all these dots, think about the bigger picture risk.
Yeah.
It's not just about whether they can technically make the cryotransfer work, although that's hard enough. There's another layer of complexity: the overall system integration and operational tempo.
What do you mean?
The Government Accountability Office, the GAO, has actually pointed this out. It's the coordination risk. Think about it. For one lunar landing mission, you need to launch the depot. Then maybe 6, 7, 8 tankers all have to launch successfully, on schedule, rendezvous correctly, transfer fuel efficiently.
All within a certain time frame to make the lunar mission window.
Exactly. It's an incredibly complex, high-tempo launch and operations ballet. Mastering the physics of cryotransfer is one huge hurdle, but mastering the logistics and the sheer cadence of potentially a dozen launches for a single moon landing, that's the next monumental challenge.
So the final thought to mull over is, can the launch system, the ground processing, and the orbital operations all reliably keep pace with the relentless schedule demanded by deep space missions? That's the big question mark hanging over the whole architecture, isn't it?
That's definitely something to keep watching closely. It's not just about the tech, it's about the operational execution at scale.
A quick request. If you enjoy exploring books and ideas like this, hit the like button and share this video with your friends who love reading. That simple action helps us grow this community of curious minds here. Also, you will find purchase links for the book in the description below. They're affiliate links, which means if you buy through them, we may earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. It directly supports this channel so we can keep bringing you more amazing books and deeper conversations.